woman was there, and so many things happening just because we want the naira to be equal to the dollar. Is it worth suffering the masses?
Well, that is certainly not the way to force the naira to be equal to the dollar. I would want to make my contribution by conceding that the position of above 400 naira to $1 as against almost 800 naira to $1 is an improvement. Having considered this fact, I would now go further to say that is not the reason why people should be punished. That's why I said forcing the naira to be at par with the dollar can only be a temporary development, if at all it is achieved. Over the years, we've witnessed situations where naira gains 10 naira, 20 naira for 1 or 2 weeks, and then suddenly spikes up by losing about 100 naira or more. I'm not being a prophet of doom. I'm not prophesying. I'm only wishing that this gain would be sustained, such that when normalcy is restored, we will still remain normal. A situation where we are using naira to buy naira, it can only happen in a country like Nigeria. You are using your currency to buy your currency. You have money, you want 20,000 naira, and you'll be asked to give up 8,000 naira. You go home with 12,000. It is naira to naira. So I don't understand. If it had been dollar we were dealing with, well, you can now say, well, almost anything is going. But this one is naira to naira. You don't even have the money available. You don't have the cash available. People have money, but they don't have access to it. You liken it to a situation where you have collected rice or groundnut and put it into a glass bottle and covered it and kept it outside, and one hen chicken would be going about the bottle trying to peck at the bottle. It is seeing the grain there but cannot have access to it. That's exactly where we are today. A lot of people have money in their accounts, in their phones. There is no network to make the transfer.
Okay, yeah, that's it, Council. Comrade.
Yes.
Now, do you think, just like what people are suffering here, the other day the barrister was talking about how he uses either card or whatever, and even as he was saying that the biggest you had was 250. Yesterday,
yes,
100 naira.
Yes, yesterday.
Asking for 50 naira.
Yes, yesterday I had 100 naira. The lady that presented had about 250, and I was begging her if she could dash me 50 naira, it would elevate me to a position of 150, while she would still retain 200. So it is now that bad.
Yes, Council, do you think these are leaders who are up there? Do you think they are suffering the same fate?
No, they are not suffering the same fate. Let's be clear about it. And I want to say something. You see, from my own knowledge of economics, that increase may not reflect in the life of the nation. And I will tell you why. You see, 0.05% it's not even up to a digit. If you are to bring it to decimal, in fact, it's not even up to a digit. 0.05. 0.05. It's not even up to a digit yet. And then, why did I say it will not reflect on the even on macroeconomic performance of Nigerian state? The budget for this year has a budgetary benchmark of 435 naira to $1, and we are talking about 461 naira now to $1, and we are already in the year 2023. Do you know what that means? That's deficit, and that is why the budget every year reflects, in fact, borrowing, because you cannot fund the budget. That's just one indicator. Again, I should expect that we talk more, and that was why I was fantasizing with the idea of production. The only thing that can help, when Obi was talking about mobilizing the productive forces to put Nigeria, understand, at the pedestal of being a production and not a consumption state. You see, the only thing that can save this country, that is what you call PPP, purchasing power parity. If you talk about the naira, it is falling. Let's not look at the optics of 0.05%. That is not where we were by 2014. When we were growing, our growth rate was about 7 to 9%, but chasing double digit today. So where are we now? See, the only thing that would have saved this country is that we were able to emphasize or to show up production to the extent that even our agricultural produce and then industrial can do what? Can find international market. That is what we make the dollar to drop. When we are able to find international markets, we now begin to do what? Trade the naira against the dollar, and the dollar will begin to depreciate, and the naira will begin to do what? Appreciate. Then we will have money to fund our budget. It's not possible. What we are seeing is meaningless and is insignificant because it does not solve the macroeconomic performance problem of Nigeria state, as it has to do with the budget, debt. If you divide that and talk about citizens' debt ratio, you will know that it reflects nowhere. It's nowhere. So to me, I should expect that if we were a country, that if this country, I said the worst Buhari did was not even to carry out this undemocratic tendencies. The worst he did was to gather a bunch of people who don't even know anything about economics to man the economy, and that is why you are going from the CBN through the ways and means advances, and are telling the CBN that a debt that should be repaid by our law, by the CBN Act, you have to repay that within the same financial year. You are now looking for 14-year extension plan. That is the problem. So that the generation up to the fourth generation will be enslaved. Servicing debt. Even before they come on board, they're already slaves. They think it doesn't mean anything because it has not made our budget. You understand?
Okay.
To appreciate.
Yeah, Council. From what he has said, are you saying all these sufferings will boil down to nothing at the end of the day? Because the reason has always been that with this, the Nigerian, it's going to help the economy grow, not just helping the economy grow, that it will become something like, we've talked about it. At a point, it was almost getting to 1,000. 1,000.
It actually got up to that.
I think
it got up to that and more.
This thing you are seeing is the official rate. If you go to parallel market, if you go to
call it its name,
black market. Yes, black market. It's up to 700 to 800 naira. 750 or about. This is just the official rate of the CBN, which only the government officials will have. People like us cannot have access to that money at that rate.
So why have they? Is this a deliberate act to suffer the Nigerian populace? Because like I asked a comrade, are they suffering the same thing?
Well, certainly they are not, and I would draw to light a visit that took place either yesterday or the day before yesterday by the man who suddenly acquired a certificate. He didn't have one all this while, but he was given one. He has framed it and has been showing it about everywhere. Yeah. We saw a video clip that trended where he paid a visit to the chief executive of one of the banks in Nigeria. And all kinds of versions have emanated from the meal regarding such a visit, the thank you visit by him, where it's been believed that through this particular organization, funds were made available to him, and it's out there. Nobody has said much about it. I've not mentioned the names, but this is Nigeria. The Igbos say that we have a saying that you wear clothes because of outsiders. That actually all of us know, we understand that the nudity of our kinsmen. So when things like that begin to happen, that is to show you that they, in quote, they,
Did not suffer.
in quote,
Did not suffer.
It's down here where you and I have 200 naira in our pocket, and we are struggling to add 50 naira to it, notwithstanding the fact that we may have more than that amount in our respective banks. But then when you are talking of utility, when you are talking of power, purchasing power, if you don't have access to, if you can't use that money, you don't have any purchasing power.
And no economy thrives without cash flow. There must be cash flowing to help regulate the economy. Just like you have when you are driving your vehicle, the mechanics begin to do what? When you ignite and then begins to cable, you see that the oil begins to spread. Yes, to begin to spread. Now that aside, you see why I say we are not suffering this is this. There was it's on record that former CBN governor Lamido said, he said something. He said that he could make a call
and they will bring
this dollar to him. Now remember, he will sell at this parallel price. CBN will give him directly. Does anybody here have access to CBN to give you dollar? Even our commercial banks, they don't. So the people who are the ones who sell these dollars to these black marketers.
And when he said it, nobody disputed.
And they make money.
Nobody counted him and said that what he was saying
exactly. Currency transaction didn't start today. When Babangida came up with the idea of SFEM, second front foreign exchange market, we thought it was going to be proper. But we never knew that the rich ones also, like the CBN governor and the rest of them, even governors, they buy dollar from the CBN, from their banks and sell. And they are treated.
All right, because of our time, the INEC on Thursday night said it would appeal the court judgment which ordered that 2 Nigerians with temporary voters card should be allowed to vote during the March 18, 2023 governorship and houses of assembly elections. Okay, one Kofowola Olusegun and Allwell Wilson had gone to the Federal High Court Abuja. They prayed the court that they should be allowed to vote with temporary voters cards as INEC failed to issue them with their PVCs before it closed the process. And the court granted them that, but INEC is insisting that they will appeal the judgment. The temporary voters card was issued by INEC. Then the question, let me start with you, Council. What is then the need for the issuance of that temporary?
The temporary voters card is an acknowledgement that you have gone through the registration process and that you are now awaiting the production and issuance of the final, the permanent voters card. Actually, you are required to exchange by the time the PVC is ready. You are supposed to exchange the PVC for the temporary voters card. You trade in the temporary voters card and you are now issued with the PVC. Recall, sir, that sometime last year, some weeks or months after the massive registration exercise, in several parts of the country, these PVCs were discovered to have been dumped. One incident was somebody who was jogging, I think around Abuja, and a vehicle was busy throwing down, a moving vehicle speeding was throwing down PVCs of people registered for Lagos or vice versa. Also in Rivers State, the same thing. That was when people started talking about disenfranchisement. So those people who have gone to court, it is their right that they go to court. If they have presented themselves for registration and they have evidence to show that we have done all that we are required to do, and INEC has acknowledged by giving them the temporary voters card, it is no longer their duty or business to go and produce the permanent voter. It is the duty of INEC. They have done all that they are supposed to do, all that they are required by law to do. They've done it. if there is any failure on the part of INEC, they should not be held responsible. I am sure that that was the claim. I would want to believe rather that that was the claim they made, and I would also want to believe that that was the reasoning behind the decision of the court. Through no fault of theirs, if they've done all they are required to do and you've acknowledged, you can't punish them for your own ineptitude. So it's either you give them the permanent voters card or you allow them to vote with what you have. Yes, you cannot disenfranchise them.
All right, comrade. Yes. Talking about INEC, they issued this.
Yes.
And then the court also was, do I say magnanimous enough to have asked them that they have every right, and asked INEC to allow them vote with what they have.
Yes.
Since they made every attempt to get the PVC, the permanent voters card, and it was not possible until the process closed. So,
I think I want to support what Council said. Let me just embellish. He has already done the needful. You see, according to the news, when I read the news, I think yesterday, they said the court said there was no provision in the constitution that the PVC must be used for election. You understand? But there must be means of what?
Identification.
Yes, which must also pass through INEC test. But it's unfortunate where we are today. Like Council did say, it is no fault of theirs. You created the window, the timeline for them to come out and participate in the CVR. They came out and participated. And this is also the story of how INEC shortchanged, undermined, undercut, and even disenfranchised many Nigerians. Not many collected their own PVCs. As I'm speaking to you now, as we're talking here now, many PVCs have not even been produced. They have not even been manufactured. People went there countless times and were turned back. But they came out to brave the odds, including being in the... We have suffered a lot in this country since this election. Standing in file and all whatnot.
And without cash.
Without cash. And yet, you are telling me... Now listen, you see, people turn 18 every year. INEC is incompetent. Let's put it in proper perspective. This is my opinion. INEC has shown it gross incompetence. And I will explain why. You go to a bank, you are issued ATM card. If you lose it today, you go back tomorrow. The bank will also issue another one. But then at your charge, they will charge you. Why can't INEC, if possible, work with other agencies? See, INEC has shown that it has no capacity to deliver on logistics, which means even locating people. Why won't INEC work with NIPOST to deliver these PVCs? Most people come and stand in the line. Again, why is it that each time they are even talking about INEC, you see, in countries like Kenya or so, they just had election. The same commission that are just boundary is the same commission that takes care of population and then takes care of voting. In Nigeria, we have boundary commission, we have national population commission, we also have INEC. These three, they are supposed to be one, but unfortunately, all of them are incompetent just to conduct election. INEC effect. Now listen, the meaning is that INEC owe us apology because you cannot tell people to come out and they come out at the end of the day. You can't give them back their own property. And I say people turn 18 every day. If ours was to be a democracy that actually works, people should be going to INEC every day to collect this thing because people are turning, as we speak now, people are turning 18. Tomorrow someone will be 18.
All right, before we go, the Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike yesterday gave a hint on how the PDP will be reorganized. Wike said they will chase away Atiku, Ayete Ayo, and others to rebuild the PDP. Council, you are a member of the PDP. I don't know if you are one of the persons Wike will want to chase away of the party.
No, rather than those of us in PDP leaving, Wike, who has already left.
Yes, because
Wike has already left PDP. When he came out to mobilize resources, men, logistics and materials to ensure that the principal rival of the PDP, that's the APC, is retained in power against the wishes of the generality of Nigerians. He even had to trample on people's rights He had to do the unthinkable just so that he could feather his nest. He is the one that would leave. The reorganization in PDP would commence by, or it would rather start with the likes of Wike staying out of the party. He is not, luckily, he didn't stand for any elective position. He's not going to hold any elective position. Anything he gets from APC would be appointment for his own private pocket alone. He would go and continue working for APC, while PDP would be reorganized, beginning with his own exit.
Yeah, comrade, before we go, Wike, we know so much. Even after these, immediately after the elections, rumors went everywhere that he really worked and even rigged the election for the APC in Rivers State. And yet he's talking about reorganizing PDP and mentioning those they would just away.
I don't know whether he still stands a chance. I think the other day I talked about him and his G5. So where are they today? The G5. So where are they today? Unfortunately, you see, we get to me, what he was doing is window dressing. He's no longer, there is this proverb about the bat not being a nocturnal bird, not being in fact not being
it's not a bird,
not a bird,
it's not a land animal,
not an area animal or land animal. We has actually got himself here because in this election we saw his tendencies, and let me tell you this, from what people were able to learn from Ireland, the place where Wike tried so much, in fact, the place he used to give APC victory, as they alleged, Obiabo, showed that Peter Obi had over 70,000 votes, but they did not count. He was actually winner there. From what we were harvesting from Ireland, including Salamade and Dati Ahmed, the first presidential candidate of the Labour Party, and other persons. Even the PDP, you understand, itself also acknowledged that APC did not win in most of the places they were declared winner. So Wike has been having this battle. Now he's talking about I wonder, as you see, we have election coming, and I'm happy. What the people have told him already, they said, since you worked from what we are hearing from the grapevine sources, they are saying, since you worked to deliver APC, we will also deliver APC at the governorship election. Yes, and now he's running. He's running from pillar to post just to salvage or to save his own image. But then,
no, you know, before now the PCC of APC, the Presidential Campaign Council, had come out earlier to say that they are going to work for Wike in Rivers State because of also what
to reciprocate.
Yes, and mind you, there was that executive order stopping people from placing their campaign posters at strategic places. In fact, Wike did a lot of things to make sure that PDP did not emerge, and he was issuing it as a threat, and he meant it, and he has delivered. So I don't know the business again he has in PDP going forward. He was a person who even spoiled the rotation policy. He was the architect of all that. So it's only left for him.
All right, wonderful viewers. That is, we'll be coming to the end of today's program. And from my far left, Comrade Namdi, please, your parting word.
Okay, thank you so much. My parting word is fellow Nigerians and Gambians. We understand all the things that happened, but don't give up yet. Go out and vote. If your vote doesn't mean anything, the governors will not be doing all the things they are doing today. We are hearing in the news, including promotions, including going to beg the non-indigenous. Many things are happening now. I've seen politicians come down. Even the governor of Lagos was eating ice cream and then being familiar with the public. We've seen all these things, and they are now under pressure. This is the only time I've seen election make these people to feel the heat of the moment. They are having sleepless nights. So let us come out and vote for those we feel can get the task done. Thank you.
All right, Barrister Chukwemeka.
It wouldn't differ much from what Comrade has said. We shouldn't lose faith in the system. Whatever it takes, we should continue to strive. And by God's grace, one day the system will get refined to such a level that appreciable confidence will be reposed in it.
All right, wonderful viewers. I'm glad you are still there watching Living Television, and also you enjoyed your favorite program, Nigeria Today. Many more will be coming your way. Don't go away. Keep watching your program. From my far left is Comrade Nnamdi Lekwachi. Comrade, we're happy to have you here.
I'm happy to be here too. Thank you.
And Barrister Chukwemeka Wogo, very glad to have you.
Thank you, moderator, and bye, viewers.
And until we come your way again, this is Chinedum Adiele, your anchor man, asking you to keep watching Living TV. Bye for now.
To go. I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Yes, I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. I want to know. Many years after independence, we still find it hard to start. How long shall we be patient before we reach the promised land? Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way? Which way Nigeria? Tell me. Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. Yes, I want to know which way Nigeria is heading to. Every little thing that goes wrong, we start to blame the government. We know everything that goes wrong because we are part of the government. Let's save Nigeria.